how do I maximize my time studying in a foreign country? So this person asks, this is from Entire Twix, what should I do to get the most out of my 1 month stay in Germany this July? They don't have more context, so I'm not actually sure if they're studying something or if they're like going to classes, but they're going to be in their target language country for a single month. What is the best way to use that?
Yeah, I think it depends. If you're studying at a school, that is different than if you're just going to the country to travel. Um, if you are going and studying at a school, just throw yourself into the school. Don't worry too much about trying to like maximize all of the Refold recommendations. You're there, participate with the people that you're engaging with. And that's true even if you're not in the school, like participate with people you're engaging with and don't worry too much about trying to study. I think a lot of folks get into a foreign country and think that they need to maintain all of their same study habits. And the reality is you're going to have a lot more fun if you just go out and meet people and like talk to people in German. Um, I'm not sure what stage this person is at. They may or may not feel comfortable talking to it, but I would still throw yourself into that environment just because it causes your brain to think differently. One thing that I would recommend is just surrounding yourself with German people. One of the issues that I've had in the past is if I'm at a hostel, most of the people there speak English or other languages. And so if it's not the native language, then it's hard to actually like wrap yourself in it or immerse yourself in it. So find opportunities to spend time with Germans, whether that is, go on couch surfing and try and find somebody who wants to act as your guide to Germany, or you might even be able to stay with them. Couchsurfing.org.com. Great site for just like meeting locals. They are usually happy to show you around, give you tips, often like will let you stay with them. And you'll get a much better German experience out of that than if you're in a hostel with a bunch of travelers.
Mm-hmm. It definitely depends, like Ethan said, on what you're doing. If you're going just to be there for a month, the world is sort of your oyster, but it's also yours to ignore. It's pretty easy to get homesick and just like be on your phone the entire time, stay at wherever you're staying and just not leave. And so don't do that. And instead force yourself to go out, maybe go to events, go dancing, go play board games. Anything where there's going to be local people like just living their normal lives is a great way to find people to connect with. Like Ethan said, try something like couch surfing, or actually what I did when I was in Germany for a couple months many years ago was use Workaway, which is a pretty simple. You exchange some work around the house essentially to stay with somebody for a couple weeks. And I had good experiences with that and stayed in some very random parts of Germany, which was fun. And actually on that trip, what I did before that was go to a German course in Berlin for, I think it was a month of an intensive course. And sort of like Ethan hinted at, I would recommend not really focusing too much on like getting a good grade or necessarily passing, but instead trying to do as much as you can in German in this case. So whenever you get an assignment, really dive into it, right? Try to have fun with it and be creative with the language, because a lot of other people are going to be approaching it in a more mathematical way, especially with German. And so trying to avoid that problem and have fun with the language in the language is great. And then connect with the other learners. If there aren't a ton of Germans there, right, connect with the learners and speak German with them. Find the ones that don't have great English and talk to them in German, and that sort of thing, and make friends and have a good time, because you also don't want to like regret your month in Germany later on being like, I just was too worried about studying and getting things right, and I didn't actually have a fun time. And so that's what I would recommend personally, having done that. But it is going to be a little bit of forcing yourself into these social situations to have fun with the language and connect with it and have a good time.
Yeah. I think two other notes. One is that if you are in the cities, you're likely going to run into Germans who have much better English than your German. Whereas if you go outside of the cities, you'll likely find people who only speak German and don't have English. And so you'll be forced to. And there's a lot of cool small towns in Germany that you can go visit. where you can actually find those people and sort of spend time with them. Um, and then, oh, blinked on the second one. Never mind. Don't know what I was gonna say.
Small tip that came to mind is like something like going to specific hiking trails or spots or whatever, if you can find a friend to do it with, ideally, can lead you out into random parts. Especially in Germany, has a ton of natural like water springs, and they have like really detailed maps of them all over the country, and so you can find some cool springs to go to if you have some extra time and learn some history of the country and explore some places, go to some super random out of the way restaurants and just chat with the local hosts there, see if you can get in on a local Stammtisch or something like that and chat with the old men. So just have fun, I guess.
Yeah. Totally. The other thing that I just remembered is that when you're trying to immerse at home, there's no natural reason for you to be immersing. It's purely out of your own desire. Whereas when you're in an immersive environment like that, because you're being exposed to German all the time in a situation in which you need to understand, your brain will prioritize the language, and you will probably find yourself going to look things up and study things anyway, just to help you in your day-to-day life. Not because you want to, but because it's a need. So really capitalize on that motivation, look for that motivation, and use it to guide your studying. Don't worry too much about like, oh, I haven't finished the DE1K, so I need to like keep doing new cards with that. It's like, no, like learn the words that are coming up in conversation that are going to be most relevant to you in your travels.
Real life sentence mining.
Real life sentence mining, exactly. Don't worry about trying to like maintain whatever study habits you had at home. I would probably just cancel new cards and just do reviews in the meantime on Anki just to keep up with that. And then look for new words in your day-to-day life and experience.
Exactly. Totally agree. And have fun.
Yes.
Sounds like you're going to have a great time in July in Germany. And we'd love to hear how it goes on your return. Upon your return? When you return. Whatever. Thank you for your question, Entire Twix.